Hello and welcome to News Central Now on News Central TV. I am Oba Adeyemo. It's up stories at this hour. Impeached Speaker of Lagos State House of Assembly, Mudashiru Obasa, forced removal, insists he remains Speaker. 22 people abducted as bandits raid Kaura local government area of Kaduna State. Angolan president urges ceasefire as tensions escalate in DR Congo. And details shortly. Let's begin by telling you that embattled lawmaker Mudashiru Obasa says he remains a Speaker of the Lagos State House Assembly until the right thing is done. Members of the Assembly on January 13th impeached Obasa over alleged gross misconduct and abuse of office. His removal also came a few weeks after he was accused of spending 17 billion naira on a gate to the Assembly complex. Obasa, who was away during the impeachment saga, was welcomed home by his loyalists at his Joel Ogunaike GRA residence in Ikeja on Saturday. The former speaker also debunked the allegations of corruption brought against him by the lawmakers during his removal, describing the alleged financial misappropriation as impossible.
I believe in removal. There's no impeachment in the assembly. You cannot impeach speaker. Probably there's a mistake from them. You can only remove one house, please. You can only remove the speaker. And if you are going to remove, you must ensure you follow the rules of the law. What else am I looking for? If I've served as a speaker of the and I've served as a member of the House of Assembly since 2003 up to date. So what is the problem? Nothing. And the former councillor as a legislator. Saying if you want to do that, do it constitutionally. Follow the due process.
And to help make sense of this, we're joined by legal practitioner, and that's Evans Ofeli. Good afternoon. Glad to have you join me on the news.
Good afternoon.
All right. Let me kick off by asking you what provisions in the Constitution can Obasa cite to justify he still remains the Speaker of the House despite the impeachment?
Well, he's of the opinion that he's still the Speaker because the process on which he was taken out did not apply with the Constitution of the Republic of the Year. But that isn't debatable. So if you look at Section 92, Thompson 2, 1999 Constitution amended, it states clear how a House of Assembly Speaker can be removed in various ways. One, where they have been dissolved by virtue of a frame of time, they have served their of office. Two, where the members do a resolution of a two-thirds majority and pass a vote of confidence the Speaker, and as such, reach a resolution, the Speaker impeached. This is the case in which this occurred. Now, when they had the numbers or the required numbers of that done, what he contests that in the eyes of the law, he's still the Speaker, and that what they do was impropriety, not in accordance with the Constitution. And such he is the Speaker as of that is his contestation. But you know, the House has taken decision already, so it's for him go to convent that and to the court that it was improperly removed and it was not moved based on the provision of the Constitution as stated in Section 2, Section 2. The 1999 Constitution amendment.
Okay, let me follow your line of thought regarding removal or impeachment, of the Speaker of the Lagos State House Assembly in this case. Now, what should be the procedures or requirements in such a case? And do you think such steps were followed?
Well, the requirement is to be strict. In this case, the tenure review pen, that is the term of his chief pen, in this case, what they did was to resolution. Now, when they passed that resolution, a sitting one may talk to was not public. So no one who is inside Central Assembly can say with exactitude that the record numbers are quite cured, some procured by the makers. Okay. No one can say it's them. So it's who is now alleging, because that was is the who is now alleged that protocol was not followed, the control measures not followed, and as such, he couldn't be removed when procedures were not followed. Maybe when the country was removed, but the constitution did not in any way mention that you want in the corner, you must be in the floor if impeachment proceedings can be taken against you. The constitution needed that. The constitution gave requirement of settlement of the House members, and if they are really resolved to so. The way this kind of turns, if that the number, it's not gotten, they did not the number and go ahead to impeach. That is only this kind of turn. As for any other consideration, the court will have to see to whether truly constitutional provisions followed or not.
Talking politics now, do you think political allegiances within the Lagos State House of Assembly, influence the impeachment process?
Well, anything can influence impeachment. Gross misconduct, in this case, the allegation of financial recklessness or financial conduct, which is dishonorable in when such allegation is leveled. Okay, political gymnastics, political maneuvering, and also lead to impeachment. Sometimes ambition. Okay, politicians they times they read the actions and inactions of one another, and as sudden they see that becoming elected or into power, they also go against anything influence it. But basic line is that you must be against general vision for you to be removed. People cannot just pull you down based on sentiment or based on just a thought or based on just anything. Must have some fraction. In this case, they have set financial checklist and fraction which instigated to have to be impeached. So that has to before a court of competent jurisdiction adjudicates, so that not be that is removed in faith, must be established that was actually removed based on the allegations level and the allegations at the time level that were true and not the truth. If the state cannot establish that before of law, then that remark will go to issue.
Now, talking about the courts, which you just referenced, to what extent do you think the judiciary can intervene in process of these, such as impeachment of the speaker?
Yeah, the judiciary, whose deputy governors have been impeached, where after such impeachment, the last had was do it. Okay, with so many states, where after the State House of Assembly have impeached the governor, in this case, a State Assembly member, he to court or the Assembly. He goes to court and he gets everything on turn up. The thing is that you may have some delays. Okay, in the case of the Deputy Speaker of those states, the Deputy Government those, it was after said already almost gone that judgment, and it was rented and all his dues, challenge and monument now they thought that it be paid. So in this, I think 10 years beginning, just to 1 year, and in truth, even though advance has been there 2015, but this is just 1 year into so there's no opportunity and time to shape things in court. And once this process are properly initiated, the court will make decision. This has to be the final decision on the honorary. It is not the State House of Assembly members that have the final say in this, because you have to subject this to judicial review. Judicial review can only be determined by the court of law, and if the court of law determines so, whichever way it goes, then that would remain the issue of reference.
Certainly, we haven't seen the last of this issue. Of course, I'm sure we'll
Not
call
at
you.
all.
All right, I'm sure we'll keep in touch with you to see how things unfold. Thank you so much for your insight on the news. Legal practitioner Evans Ufeli, many thanks indeed. The Association of Resident Doctors in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, has called off its warning strike after the intervention of the FCT Minister, Nyesom Wike. The president of the association, Dr. George Ebong, in a statement on Friday, said the FCTA under Wike has met their demands. On Wednesday, the doctors grounded all FCTA-owned hospitals in Abuja over unpaid arrears and other demands. However, in an update on Friday, Dr. Ebong revealed that its members have started receiving alerts of 6 months' salary arrears. Ebong therefore noted that with the intervention by Wike, doctors in the FCT are requested to resume work on Saturday, 25th January 2025. The Medical and Dental Consultants Association of Nigeria has said that only 6,000 consultants are left in the country. President of the association, Muhammad Mohammed, spoke during the association's national executive meeting in Ilorin, Kwara State. Mohammed noted that as of February 2024, only about 6,000 consultants were left in the country. He said data also indicate that about 1,300 consultants left in Nigeria in the last 5 years. According to him, the number will continue to dwindle as the retirement age for medical consultants remains at 6 years. The MDCAN president emphasized that the number of consultants would continue to reduce as long as the country produces only 1 or 2 per annum. After the break, the bandits abduct 22 in Kauru local government area of Kaduna State. Details shortly. Thank you for staying tuned. Recall we brought you news regarding medical brain drain in the country, and to talk about that, we're joined by the President, Medical and Dental Consultants Association of Nigeria, and that's Professor Muhammad Mohammed. Good afternoon. Glad to have you join me on the news.
Good afternoon, and nice to be here.
All right, so let me kick off by asking you what factors have contributed to the declining number of medical consultants in Nigeria?
Well, we all know about the issue of migration. Humans are known to migrate, just like the way water flows along the slope. So likewise, in Nigeria, it is not limited to Nigeria alone, but it's something that we keep on informing and alerting the government so that we will not reach a critical stage where we will look for the apex of the suppliers or providers of medical services, and also the trainers of medical students in the undergraduate and the postgraduate, and doctors that are trying to be specialists in Nigeria. Some of the factors that are responsible, we all know in Nigeria how the economy is biting, and also likewise in any other sector. As humans, we always want to move where we can better our lives. But in the situation of the Nigerian consultants, there are still a lot of efforts being made by members to ensure that we maintain the significant number of consultants that are specialists, because they are the lifewire of the sustenance of medical practice and production of more doctors that are going to be with us. We all know that better working condition, better working environment, state-of-the-art facilities, and also the environment, safety of the environment itself, within the environment and within the hospital environment, and also outside within the society.
Just to chip in there,
some of these issues are part of what is making it more prominent now.
Professor Mohammed, you talked about economic factors. You also referenced better working conditions for the medical practitioners in Nigeria, being some of the factors responsible for their migration. But then how has this affected the delivery of service so far, particularly in the public hospitals?
Well, we all know that wherever the number of providers of services are not increasing, and also, in fact, gradually and unfortunately now progressively decreasing, it is adversely going to affect the services they render. In the sense that, for example, the long queues in the hospitals trying to see those that need to see specialists, and also the waiting time for procedures are some of the direct measures of the effect of migration. And you can all find out that the significant number of the populace may have to wait for some time to get effective service delivered to them, especially those that requires elective. We are still overstretching to ensure that all emergencies are handled so that we will reduce the suffering of the Nigerians populace.
Well, before now, we have seen different bills being raised by the House as a way to lure back, medical practitioners abroad. Do you think that can be, a silver bullet for this as a solution to this, brain drain we have? Or what do you think can be the long-term solution when it comes to retaining or attracting medical consultants in Nigeria or to Nigeria?
Yes, the solutions need to be divided into immediate and long term. We looked at the population of consultants, the number of consultants that are remaining in Nigeria as at last year. We have just a little over 6,200 consultants across the country. And we discovered that in the last 5 years, from the date that we conducted that study, about 1,300 have left in the last 5 years. And we also found out in that study that 1,700 plus are also going to, are already 55 years and above. So that means in the next 5 years, this group are also going to retire. So therefore, if you have equal number that have left in the last 5 years, living in the next 5 years, and also 1,700 are living in the next 5 years due to retirement, then if care is not taken, you are going to have significant drop, which will be about half. And we all know that in Nigeria, we produce between 150 to 200 consultants per annum. This production cannot keep up with the loss into retirement and also from migration. So we have been approaching government so that we can for now increase the number of the age of retirement so that these other categories of consultants that are likely going to leave service can continue to offer service, can continue to offer training, and can also continue to do research, because this is the most experienced category of consultants because they've been there. And when you measure, you find out that medical consultants usually start their primary job at around 32 to 35. That means if you allow them to retire at 60 years, that means they would have just offered service of 25 years, which is not equivalent to the investment the government has made in their education, and they have also made in order to better their service provision. So therefore, we've been urging the government to increase the retirement age for this category of people, which I want to sincerely appreciate the effort of the Honorable Minister of Health toward this. And I'm sure, God willing, very soon we will have a way out on this. And secondly, the bills that are coming in the National Assembly, we want to also commend Honorable Ola Ahmed, a member of the Federal House of Representatives from Lagos, for deeming it fit to bring a bill towards the increase in retirement age, not only for consultants, but for other healthcare workers. This will go a long way in retaining those that have decided to remain in Nigeria, and also they will continue to offer their services to Nigerians. This bill has passed second reading at the National Assembly, but what we are not too comfortable with is the prolonged delay in convening for the public hearing so that it can be assented to, passed and assented to. So we are urging the leadership of the National Assembly to give this bill a priority so that we can have, that means we are approaching the issue both ways. Whichever one that comes first will be greatly appreciated and Nigerians will be better for it. Either the bill passed and sent it to by His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, or the effort being made by the Honorable Minister of Health so that we can have an executive passage, an accelerated passage through the executive so that whichever way it is going to better the life of Nigerians and improve services.
That's a fine place to wrap it up. Thank you so much for your time on the news. President, Medical and Dental Consultants Association of Nigeria, Professor Mohammed Mohammed, many thanks indeed for your time.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
And now to security matters, where bandits have reportedly abducted 22 locals in fresh attacks in the Kogata community of Kusheka and Kitanda community of Gishere, both in Karu local government area of Kaduna State. It was gathered that the assailants invaded the two communities in separate attacks on Friday, about 10:30 p.m., kidnapping 22 locals, mostly women and children. Now, 12 locals were kidnapped in the Kitanda community of Gishere, while 10 locals were also whisked away in the Gugwata community of Kusheka. Notorious terrorist leader Bello Turji has expressed willingness to surrender. The Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa, who disclosed these on Friday, revealed that recent military operations targeting Turji's network have remarkably weakened his position. He stated that the operations led to the elimination of Turji's second-in-command and several top lieutenants, forcing him to release many hostages and consider laying down arms. Musa explained the challenges being faced by the military in tracking Turji, noting his movements are often unpredictable, making it difficult to act swiftly on intelligence. However, he noted that the military's recent successes have created pressure on Turji's group, leading to his decision to surrender. The United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs in Nigeria says that an estimated 7.8 million people have been affected by insecurity in the northeastern region of the country and are in dire need of humanitarian support. The head of the UN agency made us known during the launch of the 2025 Nigeria Humanitarian Needs and Response Plan, saying funding for humanitarian efforts in the country has continued to decline. Our correspondent Joshua Imarai has details.
Nigeria's northeastern state of Borno, Adamawa and Yobe are now in their 15th year of insurgency, conflict and insecurity. With the ongoing crisis in this state, the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs says an estimated 7.8 million people have been affected and are in urgent need of humanitarian support.
And what we are seeing in the northeast, but also in the northwest, in the northeast, we are seeing an increase in the number of people displaced. There are now 2.3 million people displaced as a result of insecurity, as well as then natural disasters. And we're also seeing banditry, organized criminality causing displacement in the northwest.
Director General of the National Emergency Management Agency, who was also at the launch, called for a cohesive approach to ensure that no one is left behind as support agencies provide life-saving assistance during crisis.
As we gather here today, we are reminded that the numbers in this report represents real lives, children, women and men, whose resilience inspires us to act with urgency and compassion. It is a call to action for all stakeholders to work tirelessly to ensure that no one is left behind.
Nigeria's Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, during his address, unveiled the federal government's plan for responding to humanitarian needs of citizens.
The president just gave a go-ahead to the ministry, gave a marching order to the ministry to ensure that between February and April, we're able to pay 10 million households in terms of conditional cash transfer, He has also approved a sum of 32 billion naira for us to give soft loan, loans that are collateral-free and interest-free to farmers.
With the three northeastern states still facing insurgency, stakeholders have called on both federal and state government to take the lead in providing adequate funding for humanitarian response. In Abuja from Central, I am Joshua Imarayi.
Nigeria's federal government has commenced efforts to end the recurrence of unfortunate incidents of petrol tanker explosions, which usually leaves behind a trail of death, injuries and destruction. Now, this was as the nation's National Orientation Agency paid visits to the Lambata community in Niger State to educate citizens on the dangers associated with scooping petrol from accident tankers. Our correspondent, Amadine Oyi, shares details.
The recent tanker explosion in Diko, Niger State, which left many dead as they scooped petrol from a falling tanker, can best be described as a national tragedy. Following a presidential directive to educate citizens on the dangers of such acts and bring to an end the recurring incident, Nigeria's National Orientation Agency has visited Lambata community in the state in a bid to avert the same kind of tragedy and protect the public.
When a tanker has fallen, we can protect the products. We can cordon off the area immediately. So we must put a system in place where we can get information when such things happen immediately, so that we actually do not allow people to go near this issue.
Others in the community expressed their views on the incident.
We should try and warn our children, warn all the people in Nigeria, not even in local government, to stop this type of attitude going when there is any fault, the truck fell down, not even the fuel on, any type of truck. So person shouldn't go there for removing something on that vehicle.
My advice is when there are incidents like this, people should not always look at what they stand to gain, but to first of all look at the unfortunate incident that has taken place, the person who has lost money or something. That should be the concern of the community.
There is no thing like total ignorance, because ordinarily you should know as a woman that the danger that comes with going near a fire, not even an explosion.
Quick money, quick trouble. Kana neman kuɗi zafin nima wallahi yana kawo halaka. Shi ne yasa kuma ƴan uwanmu da suka gabace mu suka halaka. A wurin nan akwai wani da ya samu so ɗaya. Duk kwanin da muka gani muna ganin na gwamnati ne banza, bari a ci shi. Wallahi an kai hakuri abinda baka zato ba za ka same shi. Amma kai hanzari shi ne yake kawo wannan.
The NOA says that its campaign to prevent tanker explosions, which usually leads to the death of citizens, has commenced across the 774 local government areas of the country. In Niger State for News Central, I am Amadine Uyi.
President Bola Tinubu will depart Abuja on Sunday for Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, to participate in the Africa Heads of State Energy Summit on January 27th to 28th, 2025. And this is according to a statement by Tinubu's Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga. The summit, hosted by the government of Tanzania in collaboration with the African Development Bank Group and the World Bank, aims to advance Mission 300, an initiative to provide electricity access to 300 million people in Africa by 2030. In Dar es Salaam, African leaders, private sector leaders, development partners, and civil society groups will strategize to accelerate energy access to the continent. And following news central reports on the closure of the Ibada Elume Primary Health Care Center in Sapele local government area of Delta State, the facility has resumed operations. Now, the health center was shut for over 4 months after burglars allegedly stole health workers' phones and other equipment. Our correspondent Austin Azu paid visit to the primary healthcare center and now reports.
Before now, the entrance to the outpatients hall was closed by the medical officers here at Ibadan Elome community. But right now, the door is wide open to accommodate patients that will be coming to seek medical attention.
Since when I see anywhere they run, they come. Everywhere closed. No nurse, no doctor. Just they manage the place, but now it all day okay. Much I will feel them because I register for here, so when they come out, they will not coffee, they come here.
Thank you.
Others expressed gratitude for the return of the health workers to their post.
I think the government have done the needful. We are grateful to the government, especially the governor, Governor Sheriff of Buhari, for taking the right steps that was needed to be taken.
Even the matron is trying, he attended to the patient appropriately. I see she has good manner compared to before.
These individuals commend New Central TV for amplifying their voices when health workers went on strike and for facilitating their prompt return following a news report on the health center's closure a few weeks ago.
Thank you, New Central, for your intervention and what you did to actually make these people come back for us. We're happy and we're grateful to you. Thank you very much.
New Central, I have to thank you people for the job that you have done. At least before, this place was abandoned, but as at now, the place is going well.
The development is a fallout of your very detailed and elaborate reportage about what transpired there some months back. I think I saw that report. It actually moved the government.
While the immediate issue leading to the shutdown of the health center may not have been fully addressed, community leadership has been urged to provide the necessary assistance to enable health workers to perform their duties effectively.
So it is expected that the community cooperate and also support them in whatever way they can, so that we can have the services unhindered, the services of these workers unhindered.
According to some of the health workers, they are calling on the state governments to provide them with security to guarantee their stay here at this health center. In Ibadan Elome for News Central, I'm Austin Azu.
The Ewi of Ado Ekiti, Oba Adeyemo Adejugbe, has dissolved the Sharia panel set up at the Central Mosque, Ado Ekiti, to ensure peaceful coexistence and maintain law and order in the community. The decision followed a meeting with community chiefs, the Chief Imam, Sheik Jamiu Kewulere, and other Muslim leaders, and amid tension surrounding the panel. This comes after the Ekiti State Government confirmed that the state legal framework does not recognize Sharia Courts or panels. Adejugbe stated that the panel, while intended for internal dispute resolution, could spark broader tensions. He directed a return to traditional methods of resolving disputes. Chief Imam Kewulere has confirmed the panel's dissolution, emphasizing it was created with good intentions to address inheritance issues among our members. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has commissioned the Saburi 1 and 2 access roads within the Abuja municipal area council. Now, the minister, during the exercise, assured residents of the federal government's commitment to providing infrastructure within satellite communities and the capital, saying that more projects will be considered in the 2025 budget proposal of the capital city.
Assured you, under President Tinubu's administration, every part of Abuja will be touched. We are not going to concentrate development only in the cities. We must carry development by the directive of Mr. President to all the communities. And that is why since Monday, the 20th of January, this is the 6th day we have visited all the area council. And I want to assure you, in this 2025 of our budget, every area council will have one road project.
Technology has the potential to enhance the quality of education in Nigeria, providing students and teachers with access to updated information. Now, educators therefore urge the government and other critical stakeholders to embrace technology as e-learning platforms are revolutionizing access to education in the country. Our correspondent, Omolola Ololade, tells us more.
Technology is fundamentally changing the landscape of education in Nigeria, providing digital platforms for students to learn at their own pace, while making educators' job easier and effective. Educators at an Ekiti State conference, however, emphasized the role of technology in transforming Nigeria's education, focusing on its ability to provide solutions to the challenges faced by the sector.
We've gone past the stage where you have to come in for training, where you have to learn manually on the board. Today, children have lots of tools, lots of apps that they can use to learn online. So it's important that those who have not caught up with embracing technology in education, that they catch up quickly so that we can advance learning in Nigeria.
Students say the role of technology in education cannot be overemphasized, as it has helped improve their academic performance while reshaping how they learn and acquire knowledge.
Actually, technology has helped me a lot. It's helped me with my studying. Sometimes if my teacher gives me work, if I don't know it, I can just go through the internet, search for it, and get my assignment done.
The class is not all the time you get concentrated until you stay in a quiet place, a perfect time to learn. And it's not all the time your brain will be active to learn. My time, around the evening time, around 6, that is when I am active to learn. So I go back home, go on YouTube to research on some subject that I don't understand.
Educators and other relevant stakeholders therefore urge the government to harness technology, especially the use of AI in reaching underserved areas.
We have to move to the next level where not that classrooms are not important, they are very important, but if we must reach everybody, it can't be through classrooms. That's what we must create now, a means of reaching everybody so that everybody has an opportunity to be educated. And that is internet dependent.
So if you're playing CDs for them, it's technology. If you're playing VHS that we used to use in those days, it's technology. The most important thing is that no child should be disenfranchised from their rights to equitable and inclusive education, doing to them what they deserve in their space.
Besides academics, educators believe technology can also be used to showcase student talent on a global scale, hence the need for inculcating AI and other technological tools into Nigeria's schools curriculum to improve overall learning. In Lagos for News Central, I am Omolola Ololade.
Coming up, Angolan president urges ceasefire as tensions escalate in DR Congo. This and more shortly. Do stay tuned. Thank you for staying tuned. A United Nations armored vehicle has been destroyed in Nzolo, North Kivu province, amid the escalating violence. Meanwhile, 3 South African peacekeepers have been killed in eastern DRC, where intense fighting has erupted between the Congolese army and Rwanda-backed M23 rebels. The fighting has persisted despite international calls for M23 to halt its advance on Goma, a strategic city in the east with over 1 million residents. Angolan-led peace talks have failed, and M23 fighters backed by the Rwanda army have advanced towards Goma in recent weeks. The European Union has condemned Rwanda's military presence in the DRC, urging M23 to pull out immediately, citing severe humanitarian and security risks. Artillery fire continues to resonate near the besieged city. In the meantime, Angolan President João Lourenço has urged warring parties in the DRC to return to the negotiating table following the collapse of peace talks last year. Now, since the failure of Angola-led peace talks, the M23 militia group backed by Rwanda troops has made consequential territorial gains in the mineral-rich east of the DRC. This ongoing conflict has triggered a severe humanitarian crisis as their forces advance towards the provincial capital of Goma, a city of over 1 million people. Angola also condemned the escalating violence, highlighting the grave implications for the fragile humanitarian situation, particularly around the besieged town of Goma.
O Executivo angolano continuará a colocar toda a sua experiência ao serviço da paz em África e prosseguirá com todas as diligências possíveis para encontrar soluções viáveis aos conflitos que têm minado o desenvolvimento econômico do nosso continente, como aquele que opõe a República Democrática do Congo ao Ruanda. Saudamos o acordo faseado de cessar-fogo recentemente alcançado entre Israel e o Hamas sobre a faixa de Gaza, resultante do diálogo e da persistência da diplomacia dos países envolvidos, nomeadamente dos Estados Unidos da América, o Catar e o Egito, a quem felicitamos. Que seja encaminhada toda a ajuda humanitária aos habitantes de Gaza, que seja dado início à reconstrução de Gaza e não se perca esta janela de oportunidade para que, na base das resoluções do Conselho de Segurança das Nações Unidas, comecem efetivamente a ser dados os passos concretos que levarão à criação do Estado da Palestina.
The lawyer of impeached South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol claims that the former leader is in a dire situation, and this follows South Korean prosecutors requesting an extension of the former president's detention on Saturday over his failed attempt to declare martial law. Lawyer Yoon Gab-kwen asserts that President Yoon's arrest is unlawful and the renewed investigation has become a tool for the agendas of his political opponent. The head of the U.S. development program, Achim Stenia, says that the Israel-Hamas war has put back development in Gaza by 60 years. He adds that mobilizing the tens of billions of dollars needed for reconstruction will be an uphill struggle. Stenia says around 2/3 of all buildings in Gaza Strip have been entirely destroyed or damaged. The fragile ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas in the Gaza war took effect on Sunday. Stenia said it was difficult to put a time frame on reconstruction due to the volatile nature of the ceasefire and because the U.S. immediate focus is on life-saving aid. Crowds are cheering and waving the Israeli flags as 4 Israeli women freed from Hamas captivity in Gaza arrived in Belenson Hospital in Petah Tikava after 477 days in detention. The Health Ministry has confirmed the arrival and assured comprehensive medical care, including psychological support. The hostages, Daniela Gibao, Liri Albag, Nama Levy, and Karina Ariev, were transported by helicopter alongside their parents following their release on Saturday as part of the second hostage prisoner swap under the current truce deal. Earlier, the women were handed to the Red Cross in Gaza before being transferred to Israeli military custody. Emotional reunions with their parents at the military base were followed by heartfelt messages of gratitude to Israel and its soldiers. And in the world of sports, South Africa's under-19 women continue their dominance in the ICC Under-19 Women's T20 World Cup 2025 with a commanding 7-wicket win over Ireland in their first Super 6 match. Now the game, reduced to 10 overs per side due to rain, saw South Africa bowl first and restrict Ireland to a paltry 35 runs. Mona Lisa Legodi started with a sensational 4-4 spell, while captain K. Larineke ordered 3-2 in under 2 overs. In the chase, Reneke led with the bat, scoring an unbeaten 16 off 17 balls, supported by Simone Laurent, who ordered 14 runs. South Africa comfortably reached the target, losing only 3 wickets to maintain their unbeaten streak in the tournament. Jamaica's Shane Thompson extended his dominance on the 60-meter with a victory at the Asta Indoor Meet in Kazakhstan, clocking 6.56 seconds. The national 100-meter champion Serge Pass Ali Al-Balushi and Shehuhi Tada to claim first place. Former Olympic 200-meter champion Andre De Grasse finished a distant sixth with 6.7 seconds. Despite a slow start, Thompson powered through to secure the win, but appeared to limp briefly after the race, though the strain eased. Earlier in the heat, he also started sluggishly, but still topped with a 6.5 finish. Thompson began his 2025 season with a stellar personal best of 6.48 seconds at the Central Hurdles Relays, marking his first ever 600-meter race. Mohamed Salah marked his 100th Premier League goal for Liverpool in a commanding 4-1 victory over Ipswich, keeping Arne Slot's side firmly at the top of the table. Salah's goals, his 19th of the season, came between strikes from Dominic and Cody, who also netted in the second half. The hosts dominated, with Ipswich failing to register a shot until the hour mark. Liverpool, who were without key players in the second half, cruised to a comfortable win, with Gakpo's header completing the scoreline. The win extended Liverpool's lead, while Arsenal stayed within 6 points, having played a game more. Ipswich, on the other hand, suffered their 8th defeat in 11 league matches, leaving them in the relegation of the battle. And that's all on the news. Let's take a look again at some of the major stories. Impeached Speaker of Lagos State House Assembly, Mudashiru Obasa, has faulted his removal and insisted he remains Speaker. 22 people have been abducted as bandits raid Kauru local government area of Kaduna State. We also told you that Angolan president has urged ceasefire as tensions escalate in DR Congo. You can watch News Central live on DSTV, channel 422, Star Times, channel 274, Avo TV, and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I am Adebola Adejugbe.